Hello and welcome to a very special video to cover today. Now, unfortunately, there is going to be no NFL Corner podcast. We've had to make a little bit of a change to the schedule. So the NFL podcast should hopefully start next week instead of this week. So in place of the podcast, I thought I'd give you a little bit of a breakdown on some of the transfers. Of course, we talked about a few deals on the Top Corner podcast yesterday. I thought it would be worth talking about some of the deals that have happened over the last couple of hours and over the last kind of 24 hours, really. Keep you up to date with all of the latest news. As we know, transfer deadline day is very, very close upon us. In fact, it is tomorrow, and I strongly suggest you do join us on YouTube. It's not going to be on Twitch, it's going to be on YouTube, this one. 10 a.m. while 8 p.m. Kieren and Rowan are going to be in the studio. They're going to be live for 10 hours, keeping you up to date with all of the latest deals in the transfer window. And yes, it's going to be hopefully, fingers crossed, a very big transfer deadline day. Lots of deals to be done. And talking about deals, let's just go straight into them. Without further ado, we've got a deal that we talked about earlier today. It was about Piatek, and he was in negotiations with Hertha Berlin. Now, in the last couple of hours, it's changed from negotiations to an agreement. As far as we're aware, they have reached an agreement between Hertha Berlin and AC Milan for the Polish striker to move clubs. As far as I'm aware, the deal is about 28 million euros plus add-ons for the Polish striker. Of course, you will know there was interest from Spurs. However, they were only interested in bringing the Polish striker in on loan. AC Milan wanted to sell the player, so it looks like we should have an announcement, I would say, by tomorrow night for Piatek to move to Hertha Berlin. A fantastic deal for a club that has recently got a brand new owner, hence why they have spent quite a bit of money. Lucas Toussaint being one of the players that's also moved to Hertha Berlin as they look to push towards the Champions League. So big deal there in Germany for Hertha Berlin and Piatek. And talking about Spurs, they're looking at Islam Slimani to bring in. Of course, as we know, Harry Kane is out injured for pretty much the rest of the season and the Euros. So they're looking to bring in a quick fix for a player to play striker, very similar to how Llorente was when he was there. And they think that France Football are reporting that they think that the main target for Spurs before the end of the window for a striker is Islam Slimani. Now, the Algerian, he wants to leave France. He's had a fantastic start to the season at AS Monaco. Of course, he's on loan from Leicester City. Spurs, they seem as a cheap, viable option to cover the time of Kane's injury. They are only looking to bring in the player on loan. Very, very unlikely this will be a permanent deal. So unlike Piatek, we could see Islam Slimani moving to Spurs, although they've also been linked over the last couple of days with Olivier Giroud. Apparently, they've made negotiations with Giroud as well. So either way, we should see Spurs sign a striker before the 11 o'clock deadline on Friday. Now, a deal that has actually been completed. This one's officially done. Suso's moved to Sevilla, and once again, it's another one of the kind of AC Milan deadwood, as you could call it, that's left the club. Now, he's joined Sevilla on a loan, but there is an obligation to buy within the contract. Now, the obligation to buy is if Sevilla qualify for the Champions League at the end of the season, which currently looks very, very likely with how they've been playing recently, getting a lot of good results. And he would join them in a deal worth 20 million euros if he was to get Champions League football at the end of the season. So AC Milan are really starting to push some of their deadwood out of the door and getting a lot of the other players. Of course, they did bring in Zlatan Ibrahimovic in this transfer window. So they are getting Piatek and Suso out of the door by the end of Friday. Another club that is moving one of the players on from Italy, we've got Florenzi. He's moving from AS Roma to Valencia. Now, this one's a bit of a weird one, in my opinion. He's the AS Roma captain, of course, as we know. He's had a couple of injury problems in recent seasons, so they're hoping that this transfer to Valencia will be a short-term improvement for their defence, but also a major opportunity for Florenzi to break his way into the Euro 2020 squad, which is why AS Roma have let him go. They feel like he will get more football in Spain to give him his advantage of getting into the Italian side for Euro 2020. It's a 6-month loan deal. There's no option or obligation for Valencia to buy the right back, so he will be back at Roma at the end of the season. So we go from Valencia now, we move to Barcelona, of course, surprise, surprise, every window. Willian is linked to a move to Barcelona, but it actually does look like, for once, this one could potentially be true. Now, Barcelona, they've put reported interest into Richarlison of Everton, and apparently, according to Sky Sports, they placed an £85 million bid for the Brazilian winger. However, I believe that is a fake transfer story. You know what Sky are like, bolstering up transfer predictions for Sky Bet and things like that, so I don't think that one is true. And apparently, there was another source saying that both clubs have strongly denied that Richarlison had been subject to a bid from Barcelona. But apparently Barcelona have offered Chelsea €24 million and a contract to Willian that would run till 2023 with a salary of €8 million a year. Now, it's a journalist called Nico Shearer. He's been pretty reliable recently with a lot of deals, so potentially will Chelsea let him go? I don't think this one's going to happen, but it does seem a bit more realistic in terms of Barcelona actually putting an offer on the table than it has been in the past. Of course, he was linked with like a €60 million deal a couple of transfer windows ago, and it just never was going to happen. But a big piece of news in Ligue 1, Lyon. The CEO of Lyon, Jean-Michel Aulas, has actually announced a transfer. They have brought in the 22-year-old Brazilian defensive midfielder Bruno Guimaraes. He's coming from Atlético Paranaense. Now, this guy is a major prospect in Brazil. He was linked to the likes of Arsenal and Atletico Madrid in the last couple of months. He's joined the Ligue 1 club for around €25 million. It's a massive deal. This guy has got massive talent, hence why he's been touted by so many European clubs. But a big deal for Lyon. They've brought in some good players this window, including Toko Ekambi from Villarreal. I don't think they're looking to bring anybody else into the club now, but a fantastic window for Lyon there, bringing Bruno Guimaraes into the club. We move from one Bruno to another Bruno, of course, as we were talking on stream on the podcast earlier. Bruno Fernandes hadn't been announced while we were live on air, but I think it was not too long after we'd finished. Manchester United then announced the signing of Bruno Fernandes from Sporting. This is subject to a medical, of course. The fee is €55 million, but they've also had €25 million in add-ons. One of the clauses includes if Manchester United reach the Champions League, they'll add another €5 million onto that deal. So overall, a massive signing for Manchester United. They've been touting him throughout the entire window. He's also been subject of interest very late on, apparently, from Barcelona, who were looking to use him as a lightweight for the signing of Rodrigo, but I genuinely don't feel like Barcelona were ever interested, and it was just a little bit of a tactic to put pressure on Manchester United to make the deal happen. And lo and behold, the deal is officially done. He's announced he's leaving. Sporting have put their goodbyes. Manchester United have announced the deal, so we should see that one done tomorrow when he has his medical. Now, there's two deals that have happened in the last couple of hours that you might be unaware of that haven't been officially announced yet, but I feel like these will be done tomorrow, if not by the end of the window. This one will be done by the end of the transfer window. Now, Gianluca Di Marzio, very reliable Italian journalist, he's saying Sheffield United are looking to reach a deal with Bayer Leverkusen to bring in the Greek centre-back Panagiotis Retsaki. Now, you might remember him for being quite a decent little player in real life. He's an ex-Olympiacos centre-back. They believe that Sheffield United will sign him for £16 million, if not a little bit less. Now, the Greek centre-back, he's 21 years old. He's keen on moving to the Premier League, and he sees Sheffield United as a good little club to go to boost his career. He hasn't really been playing much at all at Bayer Leverkusen since he joined from Olympiacos, and overall I think this would be a fantastic signing for Sheffield United if they can get him through the door. Now, as far as I'm aware, negotiations are well and truly on for the player. They're hoping they can have this done by the end of the transfer window, so don't be surprised if this one was to go well into the deadline, or even be one of the deals that goes into an extension sheet, because this one is, I wouldn't say it's deep into negotiations, but they are both player and Sheffield United are very, very interested, and it'd be nice to see that deal done. And another piece of news as well is in the last couple of moments, Danny Rose has had an offer accepted to go to Newcastle United on loan till the end of the season. Now, Newcastle don't have an obligation to buy the player or an option at all. This is just a straight out loan deal, no obligations anywhere in his contract, and it'll see Danny Rose move on from Spurs to Newcastle United. Another deal that's just come through as well is AS Monaco have announced the signing of Aurelien Tchouameni. He joins the club until June 2024 from Bordeaux. So there's loads of deals going on throughout Europe, and I strongly suggest you do keep your eye out, because we are, as I said, going to be live with the transfer deadline day live stream. It's 10 a.m. while 8 p.m. on Friday. You want to join Kieran and Rowan for that, but I'll also be live at points, popping in and out, giving you all the latest on the deals. But hopefully 10-hour stream, Kieran and Rowan can keep the stream live. It's going to be an alternative. They'll be talking about different things as well as all of the latest deals around Europe and the EFL. So don't miss out on that, 10 a.m. while 8 p.m. If you are new to the channel, do subscribe, and if you are here for the NFL podcast, as I said, it should hopefully be live next week with the first episode. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on Transfer Deadline Day on YouTube. See you later. Goodbye.